Hi, this is Deacon Hayes. I'm the founder of Well Kept Wallet and the author of You Can Retire Early, Everything You Need to Know About Financial Independence When You Want It. And today I want to talk to you about how to retire early. Not get rich quick schemes, not MLMs. We're going to talk about specifically 3 different avenues to which you could get financial independence early in life. And those 3 are going to be real estate, the stock market, and business. Myself and my wife, we have a story where we paid off 52 grand in debt in 18 months. And that was an invigorating experience for me because I realized that we could set a goal and then work backwards to figure out how to actually achieve that goal. And so now what we did is we set at an age of 42 to become financially independent, and we are on track to actually hit that. And so in my book I actually talk about these 3 different avenues, and many of you are probably aware of these 3 different ways, but maybe give you more specifics and details so that you can actually map out a plan for yourself so that you and your spouse and your loved ones can retire early as well. So the first one that I want to talk to you about is real estate. Many of us have tried real estate, read books about real estate, know people that have invested in real estate, and most of the time we only hear the success stories, right? We hear about the guys that buy places for $500,000 and sell it for $1 million for a profit. But the reality is for those of us that were here during the recession, we felt a different story, right? Where my wife and I had actually bought 2 properties at the height of the market in Phoenix, Arizona, and we thought that if we didn't get in at that right time, that we would never be able to afford real estate, right? And obviously that was the wrong way to think. And so we learned from that experience, right? We said, okay, well in the future we're going to make different choices. So the traditional way is that you get financing, right? You say, hey, I want to buy this $200,000 house and I want to be able to put 20% down, so that's 40 grand down. And then you either hire a property management company or you manage it yourself, right? And managing it yourself can save you money, but it can also create a lot of headaches. I've had tenants that have punched holes in walls, marker on the floor from their kids. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that you have to deal with. AC units need to get replaced. So it's not as glorious as it sounds, but it can be very profitable and rewarding. There's another way to invest in real estate, which my wife and I are actually doing, which is called crowdfunded real estate. So instead of you having to go out and borrow money and be able to come up with a ton of capital for a down payment, you can actually get started investing in real estate with as little as $500 legitly. And so there's many companies out there that let you do that. We'll have links underneath this video that will tell you more about how to get involved with these different things that we're going to talk about. But the idea is that you could actually pool your money with other people to buy that $200,000 property, and you have just a piece of the pie. And the other cool thing is you actually don't have to manage the property, right? They do everything for you. They collect the checks, they do all the maintenance, the management. So it's really a cleaner way to be able to make money with real estate and not have all the hassles of doing it the traditional way. The second thing that I want to talk to you about today is the stock market, right? Investing in the stock market. I had a 96-year-old uncle. I call him an uncle. He was a friend of the family, and he had close to $1 million net worth and never made more than $30,000 a year. How did he do that? Well, through the stock market. So he was very keen on making sure to follow up with how the stock market was doing, what stocks were going to be hot. He subscribed to different newsletters that would give him tips on dividends and what stocks are good, what the stocks to sell. So it was very time consuming for him. I mean, he literally had one of those old school ledgers where he would do check marks and put the what the price of the stock was on that day, every day of the year for 365 days. Most people aren't going to do that, right? That's definitely an old school way of thinking, but it worked for him, right? So that's the first way that you could invest in the stock market, is by picking single stocks. The challenge with that is it can be very risky, right? I know back in the day, I was really excited about Blockbuster, right? Blockbuster Video, some of you guys might not know because it's not really around anymore, but was a hot thing back in the 80s and 90s, and now it no longer existed. Circuit City, there's a lot of companies that existed that no longer exist. So putting all of your eggs in one basket can be very risky. So there's another way that you can invest in the stock market, and that's through index funds. And index funds are basically a collection of stocks, right? So like the S&P 500 is a great example. So it's the 500 largest companies in America. A lot of these companies you'll be familiar with: Walmart, Amazon, all those type of companies. And so this is a way for you to get a piece of 500 companies instead of just one. And the cool thing about it is there's actually a long track record when it comes to these different types of index funds. So you can look back and say, hey, how much have they done over the past 10, 15, 30 years, and be able to give you kind of an idea of, hey, what is it going to do for the future? And obviously, past results don't indicate future returns, but at least it gives you a good pulse of what's actually happening and what could potentially be your future returns. So that's when it comes to the stock market, right? You can look at either doing single stocks, and there are companies to do that with, like Ally Invest, and then you could also look at doing index funds, and there are other companies like Motif or Betterment that you could do that with. So, well, like I said, we'll have links under this video to kind of help you understand more of that stuff, because there's only so much we can talk about in this video. And then the third way, and this is the way that is my favorite way, because this is the way that my wife and I are going to retire early. And by retire early, I mean have financial independence. So the freedom to do whatever we want, whenever we want. I love to work, I love to do stuff like this. So my goal is to continue doing stuff that adds value. But the reality is we don't want to be dictated by somebody else or our financial situation. We want to have the freedom to be able to do what we want when we want. So the third way that we're going to do that is through business, right? So I created a business called Well Kept Wallet, and our goal is to help transform lives through personal finance education. And so we have lots of content that basically helps people understand how to save money, make money, and pay off debt. And through that, I've developed a lot of affiliate relationships, right? So it's called affiliate marketing. And so we'll be able to say, hey, when we refer people to brands that we know and trust, and they sign up, we get a small commission for that, right? And so it's a win-win-win, right? You get something that works for you, the affiliate gets a great customer, and we get to be the intermediary that connects the two, right? And so I get a lot of joy out of that. And so the reality is, with a business, you can create different streams of income. And so whether it's you're going to have courses, you're going to have books, you're going to have affiliate marketing, ad networks like AdSense or Mediavine. There's so many ways that you can create different streams and diversify your income within a business. And that's the one that I'm the most excited about, right? So really kind of to cap it all off, really what you have to do is choose what path sounds best for you, right? Are you interested in real estate? Are you handy and want to be able to kind of work on properties in your spare time, go paint with maybe your kid? Are you someone that wants to get in the stock market? You're more analytical, right? You're going to take the time to keep up with what the different companies are doing and how their balance sheets look, and go into Yahoo Finance on a regular basis. Or are you someone that's more innovative, creative, like a business owner? So really, you got to make that determination and say, hey, okay, now that I decided that I want to retire early, I got to choose that path, right? So choose the path that's right for you, and then start developing a plan for it, right? So how much money are you going to invest each month into your real estate, crowdfunded real estate fund, or your index fund in the stock market? Or how much are you going to reinvest of your business profits to grow your business so that you can have that much more income to retire early? So really, with these three different paths, anybody in 2017 has the opportunity to achieve financial independence at an early age. The difference is not everybody is actually going to take the steps necessary to make that happen. So I hope you watching this are going to be one of those people who say, I'm not going to be like the rest. I'm going to pave my own way, and I'm going to retire early. We talked about how to retire early, but not really the specifics. So I want to get into that in the three different areas. So the first way, with real estate, let's just say that you wanted to have $48,000 in income. Put very simply, if you had 4 properties that netted you $1,000 a month, that's 48 grand a year, right? And so really thinking about, okay, well, how do I get my first property, right? Do I need to figure out how to come up with 25% down so that I can get the best interest rate, get that first property, then move on to the next one until you have 4 properties, then expedite the loan payment so that you can free up more cash flow. The second way would be through the stock market. You might have heard of this rule, the 25 times rule. So given that same $48,000, that means you need to have $1.2 million in the stock market to be able to withdraw at 4% so that you could yield $48,000 a year. So as you can see, that's a pretty big nest egg. So that kind of makes real estate look a little bit more appetizing, because you could probably get away with $4,000 a month in real estate without having to have $1.2 million in rental properties. And then the third way, which is my favorite, is business. So what I really encourage if you're gonna look into starting a business is I'm very risk averse. So look at ways where you can start a business with zero debt, meaning that you don't have to borrow money from anybody else, no outside capital, just prove the concept, right? So say, hey, okay, I've got this skill set or I've got this idea. I wanna prove it first. Once it's proven, then go and figure out how to build a team, delegate out the things that you don't want to do, and automate the rest. So that way you can free up your time to actually retire early or have financial independence doing what you love. So let me know which path you choose in the comments below, and if you have any questions about financial independence or retiring early, please ask those as well. I'd love to answer them. Thanks for watching.